of shadows. Hi my angels, it's Haley Reese and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so excited that you guys are here and I hope that you are having an absolutely fantastic morning, afternoon, or night, whatever it is for you when this video finally reaches you. You guys, today's video is yet another true crime case, except this case has a shocking motive behind the murders, and that is a deal with the devil to win the lottery in exchange for murder. Now this case is absolutely heartbreaking. My heart goes out to the family of the sisters who were killed in this horrific crime. And what's even more shocking about this case is that their killer was a teenager who truly believed he'd striked a deal with the devil and that in doing so, he was going to win the lottery and get away with his crimes. So today we're going to explore the case. The trial has just started this month. We're going to talk about what happened, bring awareness to the case, and pray that by the end of the trial, justice is served. Before we get into today's video though, I would just very quickly like to thank today's video sponsor, Pinecone. Pinecone is a super easy way to earn cash and gift cards. With Pinecone, you take online surveys to earn points and earn cash rewards. And there are even some opportunities to test and review products. Pinecone is invite only and has a guaranteed payout amount per survey higher than most companies. And what I love most about Pinecone is how simple it is to integrate into your daily life. You could be taking surveys while laying in bed, taking surveys while waiting to pick the kids up from school, taking surveys on your lunch break, anytime, any place, you can be earning with Pinecone. Basically, you earn rewards via gift cards, direct deposit, and products. My link is your way in, so make sure you guys click the link down in my description to start earning with Pinecone today. And thank you so much to Pinecone for sponsoring today's video. But without further ado, let's get into today's shocking case that ended in complete tragedy that all began with a supposed deal with the devil. So there are plenty of people in the world who claim to have made deals with the devil, and I personally believe that this is something that occurs out there in our world. Sometimes people make deals with the devil for fame, sometimes for fortune, sometimes for more time. I mean, realistically, the possibilities are endless. But typically what occurs in cases of people making deals with the devil in exchange for something is one of two things. First, the person is at a low point of extreme desperation, willing to give their soul, whether they truly believe they are or not, in exchange for their desires. And then two, those people typically wind up getting scammed. The devil is a sneaky, manipulative entity. 99% of the time, if somebody is signing a deal with the devil, majority goes to the devil's favor, and things aren't always as they seem. However, not everybody who thinks they can go up and draft up a contract with Satan is going to wind up successful in that. So one thing that I want to say is it's never enough to just draft up a contract to whomever you believe, whatever demon, whatever entity, sign it with your blood and believe that you have solidified a deal with the devil. Today we're going to be talking about an individual named Daniel Hussein, who believed that he had been contacted by a demon and told that if he should commit these disturbing crimes, his contract that he hand wrote would hold up and he would in return win the lottery. So let's get into examining who Daniel Hussein is. Now at this point, Daniel Hussein was an 18-year-old with a strong desire for wealth. I mean, like many people, he had a dream of winning the lottery. I don't know many people who wouldn't want to win the lottery, but the difference between Daniel and other people who wanted to win the lottery was Daniel wasn't willing to just take a gamble of luck. Daniel wanted to solidify his winnings, and in turn, he turned to Satan. It was at this point that Daniel claimed that he had been visited by a demon. Now, supposedly, this demon told him that he could win the big jackpot, the big lottery, should he do a couple of things for Satan. One of which being killing 6 women every 6 months in Satan's name. Now, there were other things that Daniel also was offering to said demon. I'll actually insert his handwritten letter in a couple of moments here. But on top of this, he wanted to be able to win the lottery and also have the police never ever find out about his crimes. And on top of that, never discover that he was at fault for the crimes. Now, obviously, this sounds absolutely insane. And I think if most people would have found this piece of paper, they probably would have thought that this was just some sort of sick thought, not something that he would actually follow through on. But unfortunately, that wouldn't be the case. So as I mentioned, a handwritten contract was drafted up. Daniel used his blood to sign the contract and then believed that it had been done, it was completed, and proceeded on with his plan. Daniel was caught on a security camera 48 hours before the horrific crime, purchasing a set of kitchen knives. Now at this point, Daniel didn't have any specific victims in mind. It seemed as though the only real rule when it came to the victims was that they would only be women. 6 women every 6 months, more specifically. So Daniel purchased his weapons of choice along with lottery tickets because, like I said, he truly believed he was going to win the lottery, and then proceeded to wait around and find the perfect time to choose his victims. And that is when we head into the unthinkable crime. So Biba Henry was a senior social worker in children's services at Buckinghamshire Council, and her sister Nicole Smallman was a freelance photographer. They were both well-respected women in their community at Buckinghamshire, UK. Biba Henry had just turned 46 years old, and Nicole Smallman had just turned 27 years old. The two sisters went to Friant County Park in Wembley, I hope that I'm pronouncing that right, to celebrate Biba's 46th birthday, which just makes this all the more heartbreaking to me. Now, this was on June 7th, 2020, so they headed to the park with their friends to have like a COVID-safe celebration for Biba's birthday. They had an incredible time. Everybody was having so much fun. There were plenty of pictures taken at this time, and the two sisters were just truly celebrating the gift of life, another year for Biba. Now, friends of the sisters left at around 11 p.m. and the two sisters stayed back. They were dancing around with fairy lights, honestly just having what seemed like, from the photographs left on their phones, a really great time. The last picture that the sisters took together was at around 1:13, and as I mentioned, they were just hanging out in the park with one another, enjoying life. Now, on Saturday, after the girls didn't return home and weren't answering anybody's messages, the girls were immediately reported missing. Now, the family did contact the police immediately, but they also decided to conduct a search of their own, especially because, from what I've heard in some interviews I've watched, the girls' mom didn't feel as though the police were acting as promptly as they should have been. It was in a search by the family, not the police, that the knife and the bodies of Biba and Nicole were found. It was actually Nicole's boyfriend, along with others who were looking through the park for the girls, who found the knife, and then shortly after found the girls' bodies that were entangled with one another, which I can't even fathom stumbling on a scene like this, especially with somebody that you love. Their bodies were intertwined and they were hidden within a hedgewood area. Biba was stabbed 8 times and her younger sister Nicole was stabbed 28 times. So this was brutal. And what's really unfortunate about this, like on top of everything, was that their mother believes that their race played a factor in why it took so long for them to be discovered by police and why the family were the ones to discover their bodies, which is disgusting. And what's even more disgusting to add on to that is that during this investigation, 2 police officers were charged with misconduct for sharing inappropriate photos of the crime scene. It said that these officers took selfies with the girls' bodies and shared them, which is absolutely horrific, unthinkable, and absolutely disrespectful to the family. Now, there is plenty of evidence that ties Daniel to the crime scene. It is basically a home run in knowing who committed this crime, though Daniel would proceed to deny he had anything to do with this crime. Now, it's believed that Daniel went to the park to lie in and wait for potential victims, kind of like scoping out the scene. And video footage taken near the park shows that Daniel left the park at around 4 o'clock in the morning. Daniel also went to the hospital the day after the attack with cuts on his hands, claiming that he had been mugged. Actually, in one of the reports that I read, a police officer recognized on his right hand there was like 3 sets of stitches, but he claimed it was from a separate incident in which he'd been mugged. Now, as I mentioned, Daniel had purchased knives prior to this vicious attack. The bloodstained knife that was found at the scene of the crime not only matched the knife set that he'd purchased, but it also had both his and the DNA of the girls on the knife. Now, the court was shown documents taken from Daniel's home, including his handwritten contract, which let's explore this contract for a moment that he wrote all by himself. What's even eerier about this contract and the horrific crime is that it seemed as though Daniel truly believed he had been binded to a deal with the devil, because after the killings, he proceeded to buy lottery tickets, you guys, as if this would actually work. And the police actually found lottery tickets next to his letter, none of which that he purchased were winners. So not only did he not win the lottery, but the police did find out about his crimes, and on top of that, they did find out very quickly that it had been him. So his deal with the devil was out the window. And the police also found a bottle of tonic water that was dumped in the bush nearby the bodies that had Daniel's blood on it as well. But Daniel has denied the double murder and possessing of a knife, even though there is stacks of compelling evidence up against him. When he was asked about the cuts on his hands again, he stuck to the story that he had been robbed. And when he was asked how he feels about all of this, he said that he was really confused, scared. And then he proceeded to tell the officers that he had Asperger's syndrome while continuing to deny his part in any of this. The trial began on June 9th, 2021 and is scheduled to last 4 weeks, and I am hoping and praying for the sake of their family that justice is served and that this case is made an example of. You don't just get to draft up a contract, decide that you're holier than thou, and go out there and take innocent lives. My heart truly breaks for the family of Biba and Nicole, and this case just sends absolute chills through my body, because when people believe that there is a higher power involved, sometimes they feel as though they're invincible. And I don't care what anybody says, but no human being is reserved the right to take the life of another. Regardless, I wanted to come on here and share this case with you guys and ask you guys if you've heard of this case and any of your thoughts and opinions. I would love to hear them down in the comment section below. And that is it for today's video. Once again, I would like to thank Pinecone for sponsoring this video. As I mentioned, my link is your guys' way in. So make sure you guys click the link down in my description. Check out Pinecone and start earning now. If you guys are new to my channel or you are just not yet subscribed but you do enjoy my content, I would seriously love it if you would go ahead and click that subscribe button, and please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness, and until next time, I love you.